Yeah.
I'm a comedy virgin, everyone. You're about to pop my cherry. This piece of paper will act as the lube. It'll make everything go more smoothly. So, forgive me for that. Hi, my name is Faya Lang. You might be thinking, Faya, that's pretty. That Faya actually means ugly. And I now thank you for the thought that you're having that, oh, she's not ugly. She might be a little awkward and dorky, but she's not ugly. I wonder what the word for awkward is in Spanish. But I thank you, you guys are real kind. It's torpe, by the way, the word awkward in Spanish. I looked it up so you wouldn't have to look it up on your iPhones right now. But yeah, the Mexicans where I work, they're so cute, they refuse to call me Faya. So they call me things like Vampira, because I was a vampire for Halloween. Or they call me Placa de mi amor, which means skinny of my heart. Or skinny of my love, I don't know or care because they call me skinny. It could mean skinny like my poop, and that would be awesome. I know, I love those guys. Nacho and Gordito and Jesus, they're great. I love them. Actually, Faya is Norwegian. It's spelled F-E-D-J-E. The D is silent, the J is like a Y. And I was named after the island that my grandfather grew up on in Norway. And the actual translation, the Norwegian translation, is much better than ugly. It means fish barricade. Yeah. No, it actually does. It's because the island itself blocks the fish from the mainland. So, thank you. I didn't even have to work at that. I've just been named that my whole life, and that's true. But I do think that my name is one of the reasons that I've never been a lesbian my whole life. Yeah, that and I really love cock. But anyway, my full name on my birth certificate is Faya Shenley Tangen Donnelly. Faya Shenley Tangen Donnelly. You said what? I know. How about that for child abuse? Come on. And my parents' names were Joe and Sue. That is just not fair. In college, I met my gay, black, Muslim best friend, I call him my GBM, because he saw my name on the dorm roster and came down to knock on my door because he thought that I would be the only other persecuted minority in the building, and was really excited, and then totally disappointed when his new Indian boyfriend was a white girl from Massachusetts. And so, but even though I do love Sag Paneer and Nag Champa and Gap, I'm not Indian, but I love those things. And anyway, my GBM, his name is Jihad Eddin, actually, and so we have this bonding commonality where we have these really unusual names. Except since 9/11, everyone's calling their kid Jihad this and Jihad that. It's really become overused, I think. But now I use my married name, Faya Lang. I got that in the divorce settlement. No alimony, I just get to keep the name. But when I read somewhere that Demi Moore was actually born Demi something else that's unpronounceable that looks like it should be the name of a female anatomy part, but that she kept her first husband's last name, I was yes, there's a precedent for this. So I've now decided to keep my first husband's married name through my next two marriages. And I did think about skipping the one in the middle where I was married to an action hero and we had really weird looking kids. But I can't because my future third husband is only 8 right now. that's illegal. But so people always say, like, why don't you just choose one of your maiden names and go back to that? But you don't understand the conundrum that would be. Like, that's like asking me to choose which side of my dysfunctional family, like, I owe my loyalty to, or that I should shun, you know? If I choose my mom's last name, Tangen, then the unpaid babysitters of my childhood, aka the Donnellys, would feel like I'd abandoned them. Or actually, more importantly, they would feel like they couldn't claim proper stake in the brand that would be my name once I'm famous, because everyone who moves to Hollywood is famous in Massachusetts. And then they wouldn't be like repaid for watching me eat tubs of Cool Whip till I was sick when I was 5. But if I take my dad's name, my mother would just like cry and buy me Norwegian sweaters every Christmas, like usual. And I'm just like not differentiated enough for that shit to choose. So I'm actually also like secretly like kind of glad to keep my husband's name, because then I can still pretend I'm part of the family. I get this on Facebook. Same. Because when I got married and my husband was one of 4 brothers, and when I came along, it was like I was the sister, the long lost sister that they never had, you know, and I just fit right in, and we all really got along and loved each other. And my favorite brother-in-law actually once told me that he thought that the powers that be realized that they'd fucked up and had me marry his brother because they needed to like balance everything out, and we really should have been born siblings. Which is like just so sweet, one of the most touching things that anybody ever said to me. And the problem with that is that that's pretty much how I felt about my husband. Like I was fucking my brother. I know, it's terrible. Like I don't know how I missed it, you know, in the beginning, like that whole first year, I think I was just drunk the whole time. And even like in the very beginning, like my husband, he like fell in love with me at first sight. You know, he said this, he pursued me for months. He fell in love with me at first sight, and he told me this. Like every time we would go out, and I'd be like, no, you're really great, I like you as a friend, you're gonna make somebody a great husband, boyfriend, father, whatever, one day, and you're great, but no. But I realized when I went to his family's house for the first time, why he had fallen in love with me at first sight. And it's because I was sitting in the living room, and on the fireplace mantle I saw this picture of my favorite brother-in-law in 3rd grade. And if you had given him long hair and like a flower print frilly dress with shoulder pads, it would have been my 3rd grade picture. And like, I'm talking Twilight Zone shit, where like the freckles and the Cabbage Patch eyes and like the cock of the head and like creepy. Just so I'm thinking that like somewhere down the line in Ireland, the Langs and the Donnellys actually share a common lineage, and I just like narrowly escaped having hermaphroditic children with undescended testes because I'd actually married my cousin. So I think that's true. I haven't plotted the lineage, but I think that that's what I'll find. So I was just like glad that we got out of that before it got ugly. Anyway, I'm Faya Lang. Just as we're getting to know each other, my time is up. So it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.